Hey guys, Luigi fan 515 here, and I wanna share a story with you guys about this story about Super Mario 64. It's like um it was something haunted that this kids play. It was created by creepypasta, and I wanna read it to you guys. So here it goes. I always liked Super Mario 64 when I was a kid. I remember playing it at my aunt's house all the time. Well, one day a pop-up appeared out of nowhere as I was watching gameplay footage on YouTube. I was a little startled and was about to close the window until I realized that it was a website showing of a mint condition copy of Super Mario 64 for sale. There was a picture and everything. I don't trust these things, but the feeling of nonsense overpowered me, and I want sorry about that. I wanted to buy it. The whole business was precisely seen as how the owner of the game want the blah, the buyer to send in a loop containing $10 to the address on the site instead of using something like PayPal. What made things even more strange that when I tried to gain access to the website, I wrote down the URL after encountering problems with the game. The page was nowhere to be found. A few days after the $10 was mailed, I got a package containing the new copy of the game. The first thing I noticed when I opened the small box was that the official sticker with Mario flying in the air was apparently peeled off, or something in its place was a piece of duct tape with Mario currently written on it in permanent making. I felt a little ripped off, but as long as the game worked, I didn't care. I got out my N64 and put the cartridge in. The screen turned on with the familiar Mario face that you could stretch and twist aimlessly. I remember laughing all the time at the result as a kid and decided to mess around for old time's sake. I moved the cursor over to Mario's ear and pulled it to 11 position. I was going to do that same to the other ear when the TV suddenly pursued a loud static. Mario's whole head started deforming and twist in ways that I didn't even know were possibly for the model. Random sounds effects from the game started playing along with the static as all this was occurring. I could hear a faint voice whispering in Japanese. The voice was stammering and whimpering. I immediately shut off the game and tried it again. I didn't bother with Mario's head this time, just selected a new file and started playing. When I selected the file, the game skipped the opening monologue by Peach and the courtyard outside. Mario was just placed right inside the castle. Creepy. Still, Bowser didn't say anything either. I tried to ignore it and played anyway. However, I also noticed that there was no music, just dead silence. There wasn't any toes around to talk to. The only door I could enter, the Bob-omb battlefield. The other doors wouldn't even respond to my button command. The portrait to Bob-omb battlefield wasn't usually a picture. It was just a stark white cavern. I was still trying to confuse myself that these were just minor glitches, and that they wouldn't affect the gameplay at all. Once I entered the portrait, the image suddenly went from a blank cavern to the lava land painting. You know that silent, unsettling image of the flame, the evil smile. Yeah, that's when I started getting really sullen. The mission select menu came up, and yet another weird detail was present. Instead of a big bomb on the summit, the mission was called Turn Back. I have no idea what drove me to press A, but I did. The level seemed normal. Everything was how I remembered it. I thought I could finally enjoy my favorite childhood game, but then I saw him, Luigi. I was apparently shocked. He was never in the game. His model wasn't even a Mario port pellet swap. He looked like a complete original model. Luigi just stood there until I tried to approach him. He started running at unexpected speed. I followed suit when through the level strange things happened as I pursued him. Each time I picked up a coin, the enemies and music would get slower, and the background would look darker in color and more morbid. It kept gradually getting worse until I collected a fifth coin. Then the music just stopped. The enemy laid down on the ground like they were dead. I was suddenly freaking out, but I kept chasing Luigi. I went up the hill. No cannonballs rolled down, trying to knock over me. I really wasn't surprised at the point. Luigi was always just out of my sight as I ran. Once I reached the summit, I saw yet another object out of place. A small cotton was all the way seen on the top of the hill. Luigi nowhere to be found. The cottage was certainly odd. Looking for a Mario game, it was old plans and broken down. Regardless of my fear, that moment I had Mario enter the cottage. As soon the door closed, a distraught picture of a hanged Luigi Emerald popped up with a very frightened scare charge. It sounded like a phone screech, apparently by a loud piano banging. Mario to his knees and sobbing for roughly 5 minutes. Then the screen erased. I returned to the castle. Mario just slumbered out. The painting, the image switched from the lava land portraits to the image of Luigi hanging himself. The room was different. This time it was now a small hallway. Toes with blank experience and white robes lined the sides of the hallways. There was another painting at the opposite end that just complained and unfortunately scared me. It was a picture of my family. It wasn't even a picture from the time Super Mario 64 was released. It was a very, very recent photo. I remember posting for it last week. I reached for the on and off switch on the N64. There was no way I was going to play this anymore. However, when I flipped the switch, the game was still on. I flipped it back and forward, but no avoid. I tried unplugging the whole system, but it never left the screen. I was even still able to control Mario. I couldn't just leave it on forever, so I kept playing. I went to the photo of my family and jumped in. Only one mission was available, of course. This one was called Run, Don't Walk. I certainly the mission Let's Go. This is a long part. The level started in a flood hallway with platforms. Floating on the water, Mario landed on one of these and the camera turned to show what was behind. A silent black boy was slowly approaching Mario. It didn't look like anything. It didn't even look like finished graphics. Just a giant blocky black blob. I started jumping from platform to platform with no goal in sight. I kept running the darkness slowly but certainly gaining speed. I kept going on for what felt like hours. I was really doubting there would even be an end. Mario was just going in circles. Finally, the black blob thing caught up with Mario and interlooped him in darkness. He didn't scream or flee at all. It just confused him. This is a long story. Mario fell out of the painting and back into the castle. I lost one of my 3 lives. The room was different. Now some of the toes were gone and the painting looked different. My family and I were in the same position, but our bodies were partly decomposed. It looked too real to be a Photoshop. It looked more like someone just took our dead bodies and posted them. Regarding, I jumped into the painting again. Mario was in a small room. There was still only one mission available. It was called I'm Right Here, spelled just like that. I selected the mission and prepared for the worst. Mario landed in a small dark room. There's no visible way. The room was empty except for a piano in the corner. I knew what that meant. I was stuck in there with the mad piano. Apparently it and started chasing me. As always, there was no way to damage it, so I had no choice but to let Mario take damage. When he lost all his health, the usually death animation didn't happen. Mario just got marley by the piano. He fell as his blood and guts spilled on the floor, and the camera panned to a top-down view of corpse and distant version of the merry-go-round music from Big Boo Haunted played as the screen slowly transformed from the game shot to a photo regardless sketch of Mario's dead body in the same view as the shot. It was very unsettling. I was crying softly as I gasped upon the image I lost another life. Okay, I'm almost finished. The photo of my family was showing again. We were ruttenly dim before the view zoomed into the painting like I was warping out. I was granted with a shot of Peach Castle from the outside. The castle was crumbling in ruins. The fields were on fire. The sky was pitch black. Bowser laughing played on the lute in the background as children mockingly chatted, "You couldn't save her." This went on a long time until a close-up of Peach's face, panned by an exactly loud screech interrupting the loop with outside noticing Peach's mouth was wide open as if she was screaming and her eyes were empty black holes. Suddenly I was back in the hallway as Mario once again ejected out of the painting. Now all the toads were gone, and me and my family lost precisely. Reportedly, maggots were wriggling around in holes in our flesh guts, or spilled out of bodies. My dad's eyeballs was hanging loose from the socks. It was too hard to bear, but something still argued me to on. I jumped into the painting with only one life remaining. This time there was no name for the mission, just a blank space in the tower was an innocent mission, and Mario on a very small island in the middle of the ocean. There was the only time it only red tide. I did just as it said and entered the water. The ocean was dark and empty. There were no fishes. I wasn't even able to see anything in the water besides Mario. I swam downward. I kept going too quickly sometimes, yet Mario never ran out of breath. I counted roughly 10 minutes of swimming until I decided to go back. Just I turned around, it came a huge, and I mean huge, version. The eel came out of nowhere and swallowed Mario whole. I was dumbfounded. It went by so fast I wasn't even sure what I just saw. The game over screen didn't show up. All that happened was fade out. The photo of my family and I showing again. We were playing skeletons now. Once again, it looked very real. I couldn't move the camera at all. I just stayed forced on the picture. I shut off the game and turned it on again. I chose a file, but it was just to the skeleton photo of my family. I tried this about 3 more times before giving up. I desperately wanted to stop, but some force kept me from walking away. I decided to select the only other save file. The camera once again focused on the skeleton picture, but this time they were in a different position as if they were a different family. Wow, okay. That was a creepy story. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.